Beloved hearts of love, Mother Akasha is with you in this broadcast, and I thank you for your presence with me today. My first intention here is to fulfill a promise I made to Jesus the Christ, to bring to your attention once again the 9 letters of Christ. They are available on the internet in PDF format and include some articles and final messages from the Great Master. Christ has timed the release of his most recent communication with humanity so that as current storms and challenges present themselves to humankind, as you study his words, you will quickly have the tools you require to make some changes in your life, to ascend in your consciousness, to live a wonderful, sovereign, empowering life that leads to higher states of consciousness, where the lower human states of consciousness and all its appearances, including disease, no longer touch your lives. Christ joins with us in teaching the nature of God, and that the nature of God as taught in many world religions is not correct. For example, there does not exist any judgmental God casting suffering upon the people. Just the opposite. Christ reveals the 9 creative powers within all life, universal and individual, and explains why these creative powers are not acting in the lives of the people. And he comes to teach how to realign yourselves with those creative powers so they are once again in full operation in your minds, your hearts, and bodies. Revealing that study, right prayer, and meditation with full acceptance of what he is teaching opens the way for these creative powers to become active in your lives once again. And Christ teaches that you are all individualized from the universal Mother-Father consciousness of life, and that the Mother-Father consciousness is very much a part of your individualized consciousness. And when you accept this, know this, and abandon all beliefs of a judgmental God, then you can effectively commune with that Mother-Father consciousness that is embedded within your own consciousness. You can commune in rightful prayer for guidance, for remedies, relief, solutions, and to help you reconnect with higher states of consciousness. We will find much greater freedom and liberties and excellence in the life you have been given. As well, you can communicate with that Mother-Father consciousness of life within you to help you restore the 9 creative attributes to the life you have been given. The path that Christ teaches is the path that I am teaching in my class, the Tree of Life class. And his approach and my own approach, they complement each other perfectly, for they are the path of rising up into the highest states of consciousness, light, love, life, where none of the seeming powers of duality of the outer world can touch your lives anymore. And considering the current storms of viruses and vaccines and the potential of these things worsening, it is critical that you do all that you can, beloved hearts, in your studies, prayers, and meditations to realize and then actualize these mighty powers of life that, as the Christ says, were always intended to be active in your lives, your minds, hearts, and perhaps most importantly now, active within your physical bodies. As soon as these mighty powers do become fully and permanently active in your lives, you, precious hearts, in your path of mastering divine or Christ consciousness, you may be called, each of you may be called upon to be a healing and protecting presence that all humanity will require over these next few years. When we first began these broadcasts, I stated clearly that a viral storm is upon humanity, and there are other storms that are rising as well. So it is very important that each of you take the time to study what he has to say in his letters. So let me just finish this part of my broadcast with you and just review with you those 9 creative powers that were always intended to be active in your lives, with the acceptance that the means to restore these powers to your life is now available. And myself, Akasha, and the Christ, we will overlight you. We will assist you if you call upon us. The inherent nature of universal loving and intelligent creative mind and power within the universe and all life individualized are inevitable principles of creation. Principles of creation are laws and characteristics of all creative power itself, and universal consciousness of divine universal mind, and equally all individualizations, which all of us are. Those 9 creative powers are growth and expansion, nutrition and nourishment, healing, protection, fulfillment of need and necessity. Work, the perfecting work that was always intended to be unfolding in the magnificent biochemical, biological, physical garments. Survival, the ability to survive anything. Rhythm. And last, the creative power that is spiritual law and order. The realization here, first, you become aware once again of these creative powers. You hold a realization of them within yourself. You accept that Christ has told you the truth. And accepting this, you approach your studies, your inner communion, your prayer and meditation with a faith remarkable that in time, through spiritual practice, the realization of these 9 creative powers become actualization. Once our realizations extend beyond the human intellect and they become embedded within our mental body, our feeling body, and then our physical body. It is the realization of these 9 creative powers that then become actualizations. Our students in the Academy are studying the Christ's most recent message for humanity. And I have promised him I would do what I can to bring a greater awareness to more people of his letters. There are approximately 25,000 of you precious hearts who subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I hold a vision that all of you will search online for the 9 letters, articles, and messages in PDF format that are absolutely free and available. All you have to do is search for them on the internet and begin studying his letters. Equally, I encourage you, if you have not done so yet, to subscribe to my weekly Tree of Life class. For together, Christ's letters and the Tree of Life class, the path of resurrection, complement each other wonderfully. Now, beloved hearts, I would like to review with you. I'd like to turn a page now, and I'd like to review with you some of my words spoken in previous discourses in some of our classes, to reinforce our messages, to remind you of who a son and I are, why we are here, and delight and expand in each of you the sacred presence of enthusiasm to fully embrace your spiritual nature, evolve your spiritual nature through the spiritual paths that you have chosen. So let me review a few things that I have previously spoken. Beloved of the heart, a son and I are twin flames, and we always greet you from out of the diamond heart of our love. We bless you from our flames of love's eternal presence. We are communicating through the Academy. We join the ascended and angelic host in sharing with you our gratitude for the growing numbers of humanity who are turning towards the light at this hour and giving greater acknowledgement of the angel's presence in your world. It is your acknowledgement, it is your gratitude of the angels that will draw them closer to you and closer to you and closer to you. Never has there been in the history of the people of earth a greater necessity for growing numbers of angels to come down unto the surface of the earth and to assist all of you. We come to you, a son and I, we come to you upon the rose-pink ray and the golden ray as two ascended beings, Mother, Father, presence of the great central sun, who have once lived in your world thousands of years ago. As many of you know, I say again, we are twin flames. The Son and I are grateful for the growing openness, healing, and awakening that is taking place in many people's lives at this hour. We are grateful for the inner splendor within you that is finding greater expression and freedom in your lives as daily find your voice and say yes to life, life in its fullness. We are grateful for your eagerness to remember who you are and your willingness to grow and evolve into all that you dare to dream. We are grateful for your expanding consciousness and for your desire to reach greater heights of attainment in all aspects of your lives. And we are here to assist you, to serve you. God bless you, dear hearts. We join you. We unite with you in your consciousness, in holding and growing the flame of life, liberty, and freedom, a vision for all humankind. We decree that love's divine presence and its eternal flame of peace and purity enfold all humanity and life on the earth. We have entered our 27th year of anchoring our presence upon the earth. And we are given a great privilege in offering our divine intervention and cosmic dispensation to those who desire our assistance and who will accept us. Whilst the world of humanity faces ongoing challenges at this time, yet evolution, invention, creativity, science, and technology will continue its great expansion this year and next. Yet will do so with a greater influx, a greater presence of spiritual consciousness. For the soul flame of human life desires to fan the open heart of light and love, availing the wisdom and illumination necessary for this evolution that we see forthcoming, and its protection, and perhaps most importantly, its constructive use. Many on earth now are coming under the overlighting presence of the spiritual hierarchy, who govern your system of worlds that your earth belongs to. We are so grateful to see this. Every ascended being who lives in the fifth and greater dimensions of your earth planet have such inspired hopefulness in their hearts as greater and greater and greater numbers of humanity awaken. Invention itself in all phases of human life shall take on a great and quick awakening, where too often inventions have come forth as an expansion of the mental bodies of humankind. It has come forth without the spiritual evolution to temper all invention for constructive use. With the presence of Christ's communication, and all of us working with all of you on the earth awakening, we are determined that all invention taking place now and into the future will never again be intervention that does not include the spiritual influences that can temper any destructive desire or any desire to use modern inventions and in technologies in a destructive way. The angelic host and the ascended host, although yet invisible, have begun working alongside many human beings on earth who are doing their very best to live constructive lives. Albeit that we remain invisible to humanity, the presence of fifth dimensional beings of light is ever growing in your worlds now. And that is so exciting, because their presence, their expanded consciousness, their Christ consciousness can fan out through the consciousness of the people of earth and be such a source of greater upliftment and discernment. If there was ever an hour that the people of earth require discernment in the choices they are making or being encouraged to make, that hour is now. And I would encourage each of you, in your loving acknowledgement of your own God divinity, your loving acknowledgement of the angelic host, your loving acknowledgement of the ascended masters, that you would call upon us to pour the light of higher consciousness into your minds and hearts to give you the discernment that you require in the decisions that you will be faced to make now and in your future. The greater powers and presence of growing numbers of masters and angels on the earth will lift thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions into greater awareness and higher and clearer states of consciousness. To the angels and the ascended masters and other cosmic beings of light have been watching humanity for a long time, and always watching for those of you precious hearts, who will open the door to them and avail yourselves of the means and ways that greater numbers of angels and ascended masters can come and assist you and provide you the answers, the courage, the guidance, the protection, and even greater resources that are required. All of this assistance comes even though most of humanity is unaware of the help they are receiving where it is possible. It is because your earth has entered into the seventh golden age, an age that is intended to be 10,000 years to allow every human being to fully awaken and become the individualization of the source of their beingness. All of this greater assistance that is coming in and is available, even while there is yet wars, the drumming of the war drums that rise in the east, hunger that is too present in the world, that leads to famine and the presence of viruses. Yet even so, there is a great arrival of angels and ascended beings who are entering into your earth plane. They remain hidden in the mountains. They remain hidden in ancient ascended master retreats, and yet available to all who will call upon them. As long as humankind use their free will that they have been given to host or express discord in this world, yet there will be suffering, precious hearts. Humanity is yet to fully understand the authority that has been placed within their beings. This authority is the free will of every human being to evolve as they so choose. As more and more individuals use their free will and authority to make a difference in their own lives and to then make a difference in this world, it is these ones that will find the angelic and ascended host willing to support and protect their efforts. There are some unbelievers who often ask why there are so many inhumane acts taking place in the world. if angels and great ascended beings really do exist and are present on earth at this hour, as I suggest they are. Humanity is yet to understand that even though we can come and correct the mistakes and the discord that has been imposed upon the earth, the powers of nature, the elemental beings, and we can do that. We, the ascended host and the angelic host, we require the greater will and desire of humanity in order to bring about the divine intervention that the world requires, and in future days will require even greater intervention. And therefore, I implore each of you who accept our reality, know that a cosmic cycle of your earth and the beginning years of this golden age, it is you who determine the amount of assistance. It is you who hold right desire in your hearts. It is you who will meditate upon the presence within you and meditate upon ascended beings and angels. It is you that become the open door. That as greater numbers of angels and masters enter into your world, can offer the divine intervention that your world so requires at this hour. So what I am pointing out to you, we are real, even though we are invisible to you, and there's reasons for that. So once again, it remains up to you. Will you acknowledge? Will you accept? Will you have a remarkable faith that you can rise and live and have the wonderful, abundant life you were intended to have? Will you realize that with the history of human beings and what they have done in this world, that the intervention to correct the history, the past, that intervention must have spiritual powers, the cosmic sacred fire, the great cosmic rays of light, to come in and undo humankind's discordant history. That intervention is a must, so that we, all of us, can work with the inner splendor of life that has been too long hidden within the hearts of the people. Know, blessed heart, that angels and ascended beings hear every call, every prayer for assistance, and we always respond. But I urge you to realize you have to make a choice. If you're going to turn to us, to angels, ascended beings, and ask, as you rightfully should, for divine counsel, for divine intervention, for solution to your problems. You cannot, on one hand, turn and face us and your own divinity and welcome our intervention, our assistance, And then on the other hand, after you've called to us, prayed to us, decreed to us, spend the next hour talking about your problems. If you want intervention, your problems don't require any further attention except to call upon us. You don't have to educate us about your problems. You turn your attention to us and we can read your life immediately. And if you ask for intervention, if you ask for solutions, if you ask for supply, whatever it is, we will answer. But you cannot, in the next moment after calling to us, go back and dwell on the problems. After you call to us, your attitude must be one of thankfulness. Thank you. I thank the great presence of life within me, that I have turned to the angels, I have turned to my own divinity, I have turned to the ascended masters. I have asked for solution, I have asked for intervention. I have asked for help in embedding the 9 creative powers of life in my body. And I say thank you, thank you. And my thankfulness is to move aside any doubt that tries to encroach upon my consciousness. That my calls, my prayers are always answered. And if I finish those calls and prayers with thank you, thank you, thank you, that's what keeps the door open. The door between your world and our lives immediately opens. Will you hear this, precious hearts? The door between your world and the lives of angels and ascended masters immediately opens when you turn your attention to us. You ask for help. You ask for protection. You ask for solutions. The door between our worlds immediately opens. And then if you, after your prayer calls, after your decrees, if you will complete that with thank you, for I know I have turned to the greater, and now whatever process is required to bring forth the fulfillment of what I have prayed for, what I have decreed for, whatever process is required to bring this forth into full manifestation will come forth in due time. And for that I am grateful. And I will not permit my mind to allow any doubt to come in, nor will I allow my mind or myself to dwell on the problems that I have asked for intervention. I am going to the greater, and I will stay with the greater. It's that state of mind, it's that state of conduct, precious hearts, that keeps the door open. This is what we face over and over again. There are people who reach out to us in prayer, in meditation, decree. And the moment they reach out to us, they're opening the door. And then after they finish their prayers and decrees, they go back into their regular lives, talking about their problems, wondering if their prayers are going to be answered, allowing doubt to come in. They keep speaking about their problems, and right there, these ones do not realize that the very door that you opened, that we ask you to open, to reach out to us, you have now closed that door. So if you're going to take time, beloved hearts, as we encourage you to reach out to your greater spiritual hierarchy and ask for help, welcome help. Trust that we have received your call. Trust there is a process that we will engage that will bring about the manifestation of what you have asked for. And there are processes that are involved, and your prayer will be fulfilled in due time. You always open the door when you communicate with the greater. Now, the question is, will you keep that door open? For I tell unto you, beloved hearts, if you pray to us, you call for help, and then afterwards you allow some doubt to come in, afterwards you go back to dwelling on your problems and talking about them, you close the door you opened in reaching out to us. Whereas your attitude ought to be, I have taken my problem, I have taken my situation to my own great God divinity. I have taken my problem, my situation to Mother Akasha, Lord Katumi, Lady Leto, Beloved Kuan Yin, Jesus the Christ, or any ascended master you so choose to. I have taken my problem. I have asked for guidance. I've asked for intervention. And my faith will be remarkable that in due time, the manifestation of what I have called forth will unfold in my life. There is no room for doubt here. Therefore, I am in a state of thanksgiving that my prayer, my call has been answered, and I will not speak of this situation again. We desire, blessed hearts, in all our classes, in all our communications, we desire to show you how to communicate with the angels, with ascended beings of light, and how to receive their loving assistance and protection and unfailing guidance, so that you can move forward and live your higher purpose and fulfill the divine plan, the plan that brought you forth into life on this earth. The Son and I are dedicated in all our classes and all our communication, just as Jesus Christ was and continues to be, to remind you how to be in this world, yet not of it. We share with you how important it is for you, through desire, to rise into the true excellence of your beings. Know who you are. Remember who you are. You are an individualization of the source of your beingness. And your highest purpose is to express the universal source of your beingness. Whether you call that God or Christ or Buddha, that is up to you. Yet it is for you to know that we are all source. We are all individualizations of the source of our beingness. And our highest purpose is to express that source in the life we have been given. We love to remind you of who you are. Remember your sovereignty. Claim your rightful freedoms. We love to touch your heart in a way that you would know your innocence once again. And if there's any lost will acting in your life, we will help you to heal that lost will. We have watched and watched and watched as millions and millions of people's outer life, the outer self, is broken down. Torment in the minds, dysfunction in the emotions, physical bodies breaking down to disease and aging. We have watched and watched this for so long. And we are here to help each of you to restore yourselves, to remember that as much as your outer self may have gone through moments of being broken and hurt, that there is a place within the deepest inner sanctum of your consciousness. There is a place that has never been broken. Whether you call that your inner God self, your inner splendor, the magic presence, there is a place within each and every one of you that is pure innocence. It cannot be touched by anything in the world. It is the true you. It is the only begotten. It is a perfect man, a perfect woman, spiritually, and has always waited in the deepest regions of your heart and the inner sanctum of your consciousness. And so as you determine by decision and desire to live from the inside out, rather than taking in everything from outside of you. Determine to live from the inside out. Just that one decision. Just that one decision. To live from the inside out. Well, I tell you, precious heart, inside you is a magic presence. Inside you is a sleeping splendor of perfection. Inside you is life that has never been touched by the crimes of humanity. So if you choose, if all this seems so complicated, I give you one choice. And if you will tell yourself 5-6 times a day, I choose to live from the inside out, not the outside in. If I live from the outside in, then I am taking on everything that is going on out in the world. I am taking that on. I am breathing it into the life I have been given. No, I have changed my mind. I trust that somewhere within me is a place that has never been wounded, never been touched and harmed by the hurt and the lost will and the crimes of humanity. I trust that within me is a place that has never been touched by the world, a place that has never been broken. It is my inner sanctum. It's deep within my heart, and it's at the deepest inner place of my own consciousness. It's my inner sanctum. And it's from that place I choose to live. I choose to live from the inside out. Oh, precious heart, if you will just declare that throughout your day, I choose to live from the inside out. Well, guess what? Deep inside you are all the assets of life. Endless light, cosmic love, the Holy Spirit, a presence that knoweth and can go before you. It is time to unleash the power, the spiritual power. And I ask you to trust, and I ask you to know that I, Mother Akasha, a Son, and Jesus the Christ, if you will take this little message, I choose to live from the inside out. If you allow that affirmation to become your truth many times a day, you will begin to unleash an inner knowingness, an inner guidance, a presence of perfection that can enter into your life and sort things out in your life and make life better. We can all connect with the wounds of having lived as a human being. We can also say, enough is enough. I am sufficiently awake. And the most important message that I give myself is that I choose to live from the inside out. And that sovereign choice means that I stop taking on things from the outer world. I live from the inside out. And I remind myself that within me, there is an aspect of me that is one with the Mother, one with the Father, one with the universe and all its excellence and perfection. And that is what I'm connecting with each day. There is a presence within me. And I need no religion unless it supports me. I need no spiritual advisor to tell me there abides within me something that is sacred, something that is whole, something that is beautiful, something that will heal me, something that will heal the world. I am Mother Akasha. And if you like, if you'd like me to help you connect with the inner sanctum of your life and unleash the beauty of your life, whisper to me in the sweetness of your heart. I remain Mother Akasha. I know the truth about you, the beautiful being that you are. Namaste, dear friends of love's eternal presence. Namaste, namaste, namaste.